Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayana Namaskritya.
Naram Chaim Narotamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Presha Bhadaresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavade Naistiki Om Agyanatimirandasya Ginagana Salakaya Chaksuramritanyana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manabhistam Stapatam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamanam Sri Guru Vaishavam Sri Rupam Sagarijatam Sagana Raghunatam Itam Tam Sajivam Sarvitam Savrutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakamatam Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinubadhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vandavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchagapatur Visha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patinanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Shivnai Krishna Prasthana Bhutare Sri Mite Javata Krishna Bhakti Namni Nama Acharya Pitani Thai Kripa Pitani Gaura Kadudam Dai Nirgram Chari Mukam Karoti Vancharom Pangulai Tigrim Yat Kripa Tamaham Mande Sri Guru Dina Taranam Parama Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, everybody. Today, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you for coming. Today, we're doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 79. Text, chapter entitled Lord Balaram Goes on Pilgrimage. Text 30. So, please repeat after me. Tam punar naimi sampraptam. Tam punar naimi sanpraptam. Sayo yujayam muda. Sayo yujayam muda. Kartav angam kartubihi sarver. Kratu angam kratubir sarver. Nirtakila vigraham. Nirtakila vigraham. Tam punar naimisam praptam. Sayo yujayam mudam. Kartav angam kratubir sarvir. Nirtakila vigraham. Tam punar naimisam praptam. Sayo yujayam mudam. Kartav angam kratubir sarvir. Nirtakila vigraham. Prabhuji, is anybody want to try?
Tampuna naisam praptam.
Tampuna naimisam praptam. Sayo yujayam mudam. Kartamangam kratubir sarver. Nirtakila vigraham. Tampuna naimisam praptam. Rayo yujayam mudam. Kartam angam kratubi sarver. Nirtakila vigraham. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Later, Lord Brahma returned to Naimi Saranya, where the sages joyfully engaged him and the embodiment of all sacrifice in performing various kinds of Vedic sacrifices. Lord Balaram was now retired from warfare. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, when Lord Balaram went to the holy place of pilgrimage in Naimisaranya, the sages, saintly persons, and Brahmanas all received him standing. They understood that Lord Balaram, although a Kshatriya, was now retired from the fighting business. The Brahmanas and the sages, who were always for peace and tranquility, were very pleased at this. All of them embraced Balaram with great affection and induced him to perform various kinds of sacrifice in that sacred spot of Naimisaranya. Actually, Lord Balaram has no business performing the sacrifice recommended for ordinary human beings. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he himself is the enjoyer of all such sacrifice. As such, his exemplary action in performing sacrifice was only to give a lesson to the common man and to show how one should abide by the injunctions of the Vedas. Tamil translation. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we're doing 4 chapters in a row. Huh? 4 chapters in a row. Why? Because all, all the chapters are involving killing someone. So, what do you call? This chapter starts at chapter 76. It starts with the story of one king by the name of King Salva. So, this King Salva is a very good friend of Sisupala and Jarasandha and all the cohorts. He's Jahala, he's a Jahad gang. So this King Salva, he was present when Rukumani was kidnapped. When the Rukumani was kidnapped by Krishna, King Salva was there. King Salva was one of them that gave chase to Krishna and fought with him to get back Rukumani. So so in that fight, Salva lost, just as Jarasandha lost, just as Rukmi lost. They lost fighting with Krishna. So after having lost that fight, they, being Kshatriyas, they were very, very ashamed. Malu la, very ashamed. So out of shame and out of real suffering, he vowed. He placed a vow. He says, I vow to vanquish this earth, the Yadu dynasty. I will wipe out the whole Yadu dynasty. So he gave this vow. This King Salva. So to carry out this vow, this King Salva, he performed severe austerity by eating only dirt once a day. Dirt. It says here dirt. I think ground la. He eats dirt once a day for 1 full year. He worshipped Lord Shiva. He wanted a boon from Lord Shiva that he wanted a weapon that could wipe out the Yadu dynasty. So Lord Shiva been very, very pleased with sacrifice. If you perform sacrifice, he's very pleased. He's also known as Ashutosh. He's very easily pleased and he's very easily angered also. So seeing this Salva being very austere, performing sacrifice, Lord Shiva appeared in front of him and he asked him, tell me, what do you want? He says, my dear Lord Shiva, please give me an aeroplane. Give me an aeroplane that is indestructible. It cannot be destroyed by any human, by any demigod, by any demon, by any subtle beings. It is indestructible. Please give me an aeroplane, and this aeroplane can fly anywhere at any time at any speed. Okay. So Lord Shiva said, since you perform and since you ask, I have to say yes. I say yes. I'll give you this aeroplane. So what happened was Lord Shiva instructed one of his disciples by the name of Maya Danava. The same Maya Danava that created the mystical hall for the Pandavas in the Indraprastha palace, the same one. So this Maya Davanava, he created a aeroplane out of iron. It's stated here, iron. It means like our plane lah, our plane lah. Huh? So this plane or this aeroplane was the size of a city. It was so huge. All right. So having such a plane, this plane could carry anything. It would go anywhere. It would travel at night. It's stated there very clearly. It could travel at night. It can travel in daytime. It can travel at any speed. It can travel at any height. It can go anywhere in the universe. But it didn't go anywhere in the universe. It only came to Dwarka. Why? Because his vow was to wipe out the Yadu dynasty. So this is what he did. He came with this aeroplane over Dwarka, this King Salva, and at the same time, he has his army on the ground. His army also attacked Dwarka at the same time. So when he came on with this aeroplane over Dwarka, what happened was he created such a atmosphere that the whole Dwarka became dark like night. It was daytime, it became dark like night. This Salva, besides having this iron aeroplane, he also had mystic powers. He had very powerful mystic powers that he learned from Maya Danava. And with this mystic power, he created a whirlwind that literally turned Dwarka into nighttime. It was dark. And from the aeroplane, he was throwing boulders, trees, he was throwing snakes, he was throwing all kinds of weapons to destroy Dwarka. So when the inhabitants of Dwarka saw this, they were in such a panic. They started, screaming for Krishna, 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 please help. You see? But Krishna was not there. At that time, Krishna was not in Dwarka. He was in Hastinapur with the Pandavas because Yudhishthir begged him, please don't go. The rest all can go, but you stay. So this was the time when it was happening. Right after the Rajasuya sacrifice, this Krishna was in Hastinapur. And this Salva was attacking Dwarka like this. So when this attack was going on, all the inhabitants of Dwarka ran to the palace of Krishna, but Krishna was not there, but his sons were there. His sons were there. So his son Pradumna, his eldest son Pradumna, that son from Rukmani, he got onto his chariot, he took his weapon and he went to fight with Salva. Seeing Pradumna, he also asked his other brothers and relatives, Samba. Wait, it's all nice names. So I want to mention his name. Where is it? There, Pradumna, Satyaki, Samba, Vidura Rata. All these, they are his cousins and brothers. They all came. They came with their weapon and they fought with Salva. So this Salva, when this Pradumna came, he took one arrow, he shot at the commander-in-chief of Salva's army, shot at him, wounded him. Shot at Salva, knocked him unconscious. Tried to attack the plane. But what happened was this plane was so magical, it was so fantastic that one moment you see it's there, next moment it's gone. This was the mystic power of Salva. And while fighting was going on, one moment he was here, one moment he was there, one moment he was on the hill, one moment he was on the water, one moment he was on the field. So he was trying to bewilder the soldiers. So Pradumna was looking at this. He said, "What is this?" So he didn't care. He with his arrows, he shot at all places. He thought, yeah, you can be going everywhere, but you are somewhere. The original is somewhere. He shot. So what happened was Salva's. So while fighting was going on like this, what happened was this Pradumna thought this Salva's general, his name is Duman. That fellow was knocked out because he shot that fellow. The fellow was knocked out. He was wounded. This Duman somehow he got up and he attacked this Pradumna and he hit him on his chest and Pradumna fainted. He fainted. You see? So when Pradyumna fainted, his chariot driver, who was the son of Daruka, Krishna's chariot driver, his name is Daruka. This is the son. Okay. When he saw his master fainted, what he did was he quickly kidnapped the body of his master, put on the chariot and ran away. Okay. Later on, what happened was Pradyumna, he woke up. He woke up from being unconscious, and he said, "What have you done? What have you done, my dear Daruka? Now people are going to ridicule me." They said, "I've run away from the battlefield." Said he chastised his chariot driver. But the chariot driver said, "My dear Lord, I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. As a chariot driver, it was my duty to protect you. You know, I saw that you were fainted and you were surrounded by enemies. What do you want me to do? You want me just to leave you there? I cannot do that. Your enemies were approaching you. They wanted to finish you off. So I had to take you to safety." So after Pradyumna heard this, then he said, okay, I made a mistake by chastising you. I apologize. Okay, anyway, now I'm okay. Let's go and fight. So when he joined back the battle, this time Pradyumna came, he was fighting like nobody's business. First of all, he took his arrow, he attacked this Duman, this general of King Salva. He attacked him. First, he killed his horses. Then he shot an arrow. He broke his bow, and then he shot another arrow. He shot his chariot flag. All right, and the fourth arrow he shot, he to cut off his head. So this was the fight was going on. You see. So when all the soldiers saw this, what Pradyumna did, they looked at him with admiration. So, wow, even both sides, the fighting side and his own army, they said, wow, this Pradyumna really fantastic, really fantastic, very, very, very good fighter. So while this fight was going on, Krishna found out. That time he was in Hastinapur. He found out, oh, this Salva is attacking my city. So he quickly left Hastinapur, taking a blessing from everyone, especially Queen Kunti. Took blessing from her, quickly went back to Dwarka, and he asked Balaram, you go and protect the city at a strategic point. You go and protect our family members. His father was there, Vasudeva, Devaki, King Ugrasena, the old king. These kings were all there. So you go and protect them. I will fight with this Salva. So when Krishna came to the battlefield, everybody knew, oh, Krishna is here. Krishna is here. When Salva saw this, he released one weapon that made it look like it was the sun. The weapon, the light that emitted from that weapon, it was like the sun because it was dark one. He made the place dark already. So when Krishna came, he wanted to attack Krishna with this weapon, was like a sun. Krishna just took one look. He took his arrow shot. That thing just disappeared. It was destroyed into 1,000 pieces. So the fight between Krishna and Salva started. Salva threw one weapon at Krishna. And hit Krishna on the shoulder. And Krishna's bow fell from his hand. So in Krishna book, in Srimad Bagavatam, there's not much details. I am telling here from Krishna book, a lot of details there. So in Krishna book, it is described that this incident is very much discussed among devotees. They say, how can Krishna, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, how can he drop his weapon? So there's a big discussion. The answer came is what? No, actually, Krishna, he appeared as a human being. He's playing a game as a human being. He's engaged in battle now with one enemy that is very formidable. So he had to play a psychological game because this Salva had mystic powers. He had illusory powers. So if you you are against someone who is has got some kind of skill, to counter him, you must have the same kind of skill. You must throw it back the same thing, lah, right? So this is one of Krishna's opulence. So when Krishna's bow fell from his hand, this gave Salva lots of encouragement. His ego was bigger. His ego became big, and he started to speak to Krishna. Krishna, you rascal, you, you rascal, you have come to fight with me. You are fool. You're fool number one. I still remember you came like a thief to kidnap Rukmani. He was recounting all the his what they call his history. You kill my friend, no, Sisupala, just because he became a little absent-minded. He became a little like absent-minded. You took the opportunity, you cut off his head. You kill my friend, what they call Jarasandha. You kill you. So Krishna was hearing this and he said, "Hey, Salva, real hero all don't talk a lot. They fight." Real hero all don't talk a lot, they fight. So so this one make King Salva very, very angry. So started throwing all kinds of weapon at Krishna. Krishna just took his arrow, and one arrow became a million arrows. These million arrows attacked the ship, the airplane, attacked him until the airplane fell into the sea. But the Salva was so clever, he didn't fall into the sea. Just before the plane fell into the sea, he jumped off the plane and he attacked Krishna. He attacked Krishna. Okay. I missed one very interesting part. Just before the plane fell down, Krishna attacks Salva and injured him very badly. And when Krishna wanted to finish him off, Salva disappeared. Just with his mystic power, he disappeared. And then right after that, what happened was, one man came out of nowhere to Krishna and said, "My dear Krishna, I've been sent by your father and your mother, the Vasudeva and Devaki, to inform you that your father Vasudeva is kidnapped by Salva. He's kidnapped by Salva." So at that moment in time, Krishna acted like a typical human. Like he think, "Oh, how can this happen?" Oh, he started to cry. He started to lament. Okay. So when he started lamenting, what happened was Salva appeared again. He appeared again, but with a man that looks like Vasudeva. And he said, "Krishna, because of your misdeeds, I'm going to take revenge on you. I'm going to kill your father right now." In front of Krishna, he cut that man's head. That man that looks like Vasudeva cut his head. And this Salva quickly took the dead body and entered the plane and disappeared. So Krishna began to do acting. I say, "My dear father has died. Like this." You see? So this one, all he did actually to trick Salva, because he wants him to come. He wants you. I'm now in a weak state. See, I'm crying. So Salva came, tried to attack Krishna, but this time he came. Krishna shot his arrow. He brought down his plane. Found him in a weak at a weak point. Brought down his plane. So before the plane went into the sea, this Salva came and tried to attack Krishna. Krishna, what he did was he just released his Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his head. Phew, gone. So when Salva died, Salva's very, very good friend is who? Dandavakra. This giant Vijay, they were born first as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and then as Kumbhakarna and Ravana, and then as Sisupala and Dandavakra. Sisupala, Krishna is killed already. So now this Dandavakra, very close friend of this King Salva, very, very close friend. He says to Krishna, I said, "Krishna, you should not have done that. You shouldn't have killed my friend. I owe him my life. This Salva, I owe him my life. Since you have killed him, I have to kill you to settle my debt with him." You see, So Krishna did not talk much. He just took one, this Dandavakra. What he did was he hit Krishna on the head with a weapon. He hit him on the head. Krishna didn't even move also. He didn't even move also. He just looked at him like that. Krishna gave him a kick in the chest. This Dandavakra gave him a kick in his chest. His heart broke into two, started vomit blood. His hands and legs shake, and then died.
Yes.
So this is the second death. I told you there's 5 deaths, right? Salva died, Dandavakra died. Okay. Now Dandavakra had a brother. His name is Vidura Ratha. So Krishna, you are my greatest enemy. I shall kill you. Krishna didn't even talk to him. He just released Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his head, gone. Vidura Ratha also died. Okay. So after Vidura Ratha died, Krishna went back to Dwarka and all welcomed him. At that time, when this was going on, negotiation was going on in Hastinapur for war to happen. The Kurukshetra war. So the Kurukshetra war was about to happen. Balaram was there. Balaram heard. He went there, tried to stop it. I said, because they are cousins. We are all relations. What are you doing? So fighting. What is this? So of course his attempt was not successful. And he decided to go on pilgrimage. He said, I don't want to take part in this. I have too much affection for the Kauravas and also the Pandavas. How can I take sides? So Balaram went for pilgrimage. So there's detailed description here of where he went in India, and what he did. Eventually he came to the place called Naimisaranya, where the sages were reading what you call Srimad Bagavatam. So when Balaram came, all the sages, they got up. The sages, the saintly personalities, the Brahmanas, they all got up. They welcomed him. They all understand who this Balaram is. They know this is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's the object of our worship. All that we're doing here is actually he's the beneficiary. So everybody got up. Everybody got up and welcomed him, just like what he says here. They hugged him. They said prayers to him. They were so happy to see him. They had love pouring out from their heart. After all this welcome, Balaram noticed there's one personality that did not stand up, did not welcome, did not say anything. That was Romaharshana Sutta. He was the elected Brahmana to preside over the sacrifice that was going on at this Naimisaranya. Okay, he was the one elected. He was voted to sit there. So Balaram saw this, and what he did was he went up to this Romaharshana Sutta, and with a blade of grass and with the word Prabhu, he chopped off his head. So immediately when that happened, all the sages there, they immediately approached Balaram and said, my dear Lord Balaram, we understand that you are the supreme personality of Godhead, but we have to protest. Why did you do this? You should not have done this. Because this Romaharshana Sutta is elected by all of us to preside over the sacrifice. Now you have killed him. So you have to do some atonement. They told Balaram that you have to do some atonement. You have to atone. You've killed a Brahmana. So there's a bit of discussion, a little bit of a bit of philosophy here. Okay, this Romaharshana Sutta, this Lord Balaram, he knows. Of course, he knows. He found out that this Romaharshana Sutta, he was not a pure Brahmana. He was born of a Brahmana mother and a Kshatriya father. Not pure Brahmana. That is not his fault. You cannot blame him for that. The fault with this Romaharshana Sutta was that he was a very learned sage. He knows Shastra, but he had no love in his heart, no bhakti. You see? So Balaram said, he thought to himself, he says, I have appeared in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Paritaranayam sadhunam vinasha duskitam. He says, Dharma samstapanataya. These three things. I come to bless devotees, I come to kill demons, and I come to establish the principle of religion. So this person, Roma Harshana Sutta, he's the representation of practically everybody who is in Kali Yuga who claim themselves to be religious. Religious. We are religious. This religion. In Kali Yuga, religion, and there are a lot, we cannot deny this, there are a lot of fakes. They are out and out, they are out, they want to cheat people for money. Because the best business after drugs and weapons is religion. Drugs, you have to sell something. Weapon, you got to sell something. Religion, don't sell anything. You just sell idea only. You see, so in Kali Yuga, there are a lot of this. So this Roma Harshana Sutta, he was the representative of this kind of religious person. That's why he killed him immediately. He said, whatever you hope to achieve in this sacrifice, you will not achieve it as long as this person is there. That's the reason why he did it. And also to establish the principle of religion. But because the sages approached Balaram and they reprimanded him, they scolded him, say, how can you do this, my dear Lord? You shouldn't have done this. Why? Because if you don't do any atonement, you don't atone for yourself, people in the future will say, oh, it's okay to kill Brahmana. Why? Because Balaram killed a Brahmana. So Balaram said, yes, I agree. My dear sages, what you're saying is right. I will do some atonement. But if you want, I can bring him back to life. You have blessed him with a unlimited span of life. Because this sacrifice was going on for a long time. So if you want, I can do that. So the Brahmanas all say, no, my dear Lord, you have killed him in such a unique way. We don't want to spoil that. Leave it. Okay? So you have to do something to atone for this. He said, okay, fine. Balaram said, no problem. Since the son is the expansion of the father, so this Roma Harshana Sutta son was Ugraswara. Say, I will appoint him to sit in his father's place. He is a qualified person. He's got bhakti in his heart. He might not know Shastra so much, but he has got bhakti in his heart. He is qualified to sit here. So all of them agreed. Yes, correct. Yeah, he's a very nice sage, very nice boy. Yes, Ken. But you have to do something to atone for your wrongdoing. He said, okay, my dear sages, please tell me, what is it that you want me to do? So the sages all told, say, my dear Lord Balaram, there is one demon by the name of Balwala. Balwala, he's the son of Ilwala. His name is here, I'm not joking. His name is Ilwala. Ilvala. This demon, every time we want to do any sacrifice or any worship, he will come and he will throw, shit and feces, and he will throw bones and he will throw flesh. He will try to disturb this place, you see. So if you can get rid of him, means you will be very happy. So Lord Balaram said, no problem, I will do that. That is not a problem. So he waited for this Balwala to come. This Balwala was a demon, he could fly in the sky. So he came, he was one ugly looking fella, copper hair, long fangs and all that lah, copper hair, copper. Get the girls have met in Penang Road with copper hair. I saw this one. When I saw this, I can't help but think, this one, aspiring to be Yamadutas. Because they also come like that with copper hair, big eyes, long fangs. Red eyes. So this demon came, and when he came, exactly, he did the same thing. He throw feces, he throw bones, he throw flesh, he urinate, everything. He tried to spoil, So Balaram came and he gave him one kuti at the chest. He flew, put a pump, he flew, and then he got up and he was so angry. Tried to fight with Balaram. So when he was trying to fight with Balaram, because he could fly, you see. He could fly. He could be on ground and he could fly. Balaram got a bit fed up with his flying business, So he called his plow. He had one weapon called plow. With this plow, he just grabbed him and brought him down to the ground. And with one hit of with his hand, he hit him on his chest. He just vomited blood and died. So now I give you five deaths already. Salva, Dandavakra, his brother Vidura Ratha, Roma Harshana, and now Balvala. So five deaths already. 9 o'clock. Chiko, chiko. Thank you very much.
Actually, these are people that will bring into the religiosity and
Yeah. These are actually particularly very powerful personalities. Lisa Salva, especially, he was a very formidable enemy because he was very expert in mystic power. You see, not only he had that plane that could fly anywhere and all that, he could make it appear and disappear as he pleased. That was his mystic powers. He's so very dangerous. Same like in Ramayana also. This Ravana's son, what is this? Indrajit. He was like that also. Indrajit was the one that knocked out Lakshmana. He was so powerful because of his mystic power. So they were very dangerous. So they had to be wiped. They had to be wiped out. So Krishna had to do all this drama lah. Oh, my father is dead. Just to flush them out, no? Because their weakness, demons' weakness is they got a inflated ego. The ego is all like that. No? So that's how you can get them. That is their weakness. What name? Salya, I think Salya. Some S also. Salya. He actually came to fight for the Pandavas, but he was tricked by Duryodhana. He was greeted by Duryodhana, and he was taken care of, given. So he thought, this Duryodhana was like, on behalf of the Pandavas.